What are those? No, really. What are those? So these guys, they're kind of like the Batman missions figures, but also different. Yoink. Yoink. Yoink again. I mean, technically, these guys are Batman missions figures. Because they're, I mean, you can see Batman missions on the label there. So, I mean, they're Batman missions. I got them for $5 at Big Lots. Batman, Joker, El Gonzalo, Coriniga. I can't read that word because I don't speak Spanish. You could also get Two-Face and Robin. I mean, the packaging is pretty snazzy for what it is. Here are the barcodes for Batman and the Joker. And here's the barcode for Nightwing. But yeah, I saw these guys at Big Lots during my trip to the States, and I was like, what the heck are these? I mean, they're labeled Batman missions, and at first glance, they might kind of look to some people sort of like reused Batman missions molds with no articulation really to speak of aside from the groin, the shoulders, and the head, but there's a bit more to these guys than meets the eye. Let's start with Batman. This Batman figure, I mean, it's got your basic articulation like all the rest in the shoulders and in the groin here, and that's really about it. Even the head's not on a ball peg with these. They're just on regular tourney pegs. And I know that some people are going, well, that's not a lot of articulation. This figure must not be very good. Imagine this came out in the 1990s or the late 80s. This would have been something that I would have actually wanted to purchase, and it would have came with much bigger, more ornate bubble card packaging. Here, don't believe me? Boom! Here is the Kenner Dark Knight Collection Batman figure. I believe this was Crime Attack Batman. I can't remember. He came with a golden launcher that fit on his wrist and a black claw that shot out. Anyway, this, when I was a kid, only had 5 points of articulation. Groin, shoulders, and head. And we were like, whoa, this Batman figure is so cool. You have to remember that the target audience for these is very, very young. Like right here, sure, it says not for 0 to 3-year-olds. On the front, it says 3 and up. What? So don't give it to anyone who's below 4 years old, but it's for ages 3 and up? What? Okay, wonky packaging aside, these are both for 3 and up. They're the same age demographic. Only these are a real missions figure, and these have clearly been made with the littles in mind. But alas, he looks nothing like an actual regular Batman missions figure. I mean, the decal, the bat on the front is very, very much the same. It might be exactly the same. This one looks a little bit smaller. But other than that, there is nothing Batman mission-y about this. This is actually more of a rebirth Batman figure. It looks more like the multiverse Batman. It's got not the same molds. They're not the same. This is a different belt and not the same head. They are different molds. Maybe they were the same in the computer, but I mean, they clearly were resized before they were printed out. But that's really the only other thing about this Batman that makes it a Batman rebirth from multiverse. I mean, it's definitely more similar, but there's so much more detail on their actual rebirth Batman, whereas this one is simple, 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 simple. I think that this is actually the basic Batman body they've used on previous simply articulated Mattel offerings, only with a new belt and, you know, a clearly different head sculpt. But other than that, I mean, this is clearly, it's sort of its own thing. When we come to Nightwing, here is the Batman Missions Nightwing, and here is the one that is this one. You can look at these guys, and at first you're going to go, well, they look like they're pretty much the same, but alas, they are not. Looking at the detail on them, you can actually see that there are variances, like the utility belts are on the side, the pouches are different, the detail on the front here, it's actually different. These are not the same sculpted pieces. They are different pieces. They are not the same. I mean, look at the backs. The backs are completely different. Not the same armor at all. They're actually different. They're newly sculpted pieces here, made for the same age demographic, but clearly these are really intended for the littles. And with these, they kind of probably knew that adults were also going to pick these up. Both of the face sculpts for Nightwing are pretty much the same. You can really definitely tell that they went with all cheaper materials for the one with less articulation and better materials and plastics for the one with more articulation. The actual Batman missions in comparison to the Littles Batman missions, the budget of the budget line. And then we come to the Joker. And this Joker, in comparison to the actual original Batman Missions Joker, is so different. I mean, look at these bad boys up close. This Joker's got like a different purple. He's got a trench coat. He's got a black t-shirt underneath with black pants and, you know, and then you got this one. He's got a black jacket. He's got a green shirt with a tie. Definitely more of your classic looking Joker. The face sculpts are both of them. They're clearly the same, only this one's been shrunken and what is going on with his face though? That's a whole lot of nope. There's something really wrong with the way they painted those eyes on. He doesn't look right at all. Something is very wrong. At least with the original one, they got the face paint right. But you know what? For as much as I'm kind of making fun of these guys, all in good fun, in jest, I don't think they're that bad for what they are. For being marketed to the littles and having very simple articulation, clearly not created with adult collectors in mind. I mean, let's be honest here. These were definitely created with little kids in mind. If these came out when I was a kid, I would have been all over these. I would have absolutely wanted these guys, and I would have thought that they were awesome. And you know what? My little Robert, my 6-year-old, is going to eat these guys up. He's going to play with them like no tomorrow. He's going to love them. And that's all these guys are intended to be, is child's play toys, imaginative playtime. They don't need all the articulation. They don't need all the fancy paint apps. They just need something that they can have imaginative superhero versus supervillain play scenarios with. And I think these guys will do just fine at being that and fulfilling the needs of that demographic. Anyway, super friends, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm still waiting for stuff to show up in the mail. I've got some very cool stuff in store, but it's just not here yet. And I figured I would whittle away at some of the stuff I picked up over the summer. Today being these 3 very simple basic Batman Missions figures, part of the budget line. If you enjoyed this video, found it a kind of a reasonable waste of time, please take the time to give me a thumbs up. Any comments you have, you know where they go, down below. And if you want to see more of my face and hands show up in your inbox, then I invite you today to become a super friend and join the DC squad by hitting the subscribe button. Well, you knew that was coming. That's like every YouTuber has that spiel. Subscribe, like, follow, all that stuff. Thank you so much for watching, super friends. Have an awesome day and take care. Bye for now.